We have a passionate sports person today on our episode of Passion series. Please welcome Smit Singh man. He's one of my very good friend and also part of the Indian national shooting team. He also has represented India in Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, and right now currently holds the national record in skeet shooting. Welcome, Paji. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much.
Smith, Passion series is all about bringing passionate stories to life, and we've interacted a lot, right? As दूजी दी journey देखी है, you know, you becoming, reaching up here. Just tell us about your journey so far, right? From school, to college, to representing India in national games, and then having that national record. How's been the journey so far?
Very intensive, very long. I started playing for the national team back in 2007, and it went through different patches. Learning, I started without a coach, so I was very lucky for 2010 Commonwealth Games when the funding came from the government. We got a foreign coach, amazing foreign coach, who helped me build on my basics, techniques, and luckily I had an instinct towards it. I had technique, and the second major issue in a Olympic event which athletes face is resources, and especially in an expensive game like shooting. And I was also lucky in that aspect. Like after my 2010 Asian Games and a few other performances in 2011 in the Junior World Cup, sponsors starting coming in, I got ONGC, I got Olympic Gold Quest, who could, I believed that they could support me, and also you get a reinforced belief in your skill. And shooting, I used to love shooting. I still love shooting, and so I want to do it. And the amazing thing is that sport, I could connect it to so many other aspects of my life and grow as an individual with the experience the sport gave me to travel, with how people connect with sport and athletes, how you can pass on things, you can connect with your people around you because you are doing something that feel it's of worth, even if you don't feel like that. So I think it's been very good. I've been very lucky that I'm good at this sport.
No, but you were saying that कि 2007 में you started without a coach. So you were just, अभी जब हम बात कर रहे थे, you were just saying that you used to go for ammunition and finding all these things. So how is that? I want to understand the early part, right? Then I understand that you've represented India in various forums, but how was the early part of when you didn't have that platform? So how was that journey, which I want to understand?
No very
incident
no very something which doesn't come to light. I remember I needed money for buy ammunition, and I used to stay in Mohali, and so I went around. I thought industrial areas where the industries are, so I'd go to different corporates and ask them for funding so they can help me get ammunition, and that didn't work out. That philosophy was wrong. And then of course with performance, when you manage something, when you start winning and you're doing something which is worthwhile for organizations, they come to support you. And India, I've been lucky, and India's been the very good in this area for Olympic sports, because many organizations had come in when I was coming into this game to support athletes like me. Like I just mentioned, Olympic Gold Quest, which helped me, and ONGC was with me from the beginning as a scholarship athlete, and in 2014 I became an employee. So support like that, when an athlete gets, it really changes them. But you don't know that's going to happen. Absolutely. You don't know that's lying in the future. So you have to keep on struggling, and I realized that there was something in the game for me. I had a skill for it, and I could see the people I was around always mattered to me. India always mattered to me. So I thought maybe this is the method in which I can matter to India. I can matter to people.
मैंने flag देख के I always get goosebumps. National anthem भी जब when it goes on the TV, I always get goosebumps. आँखों में पानी आ जाता है. So just tell us about that journey when you got the medal for the first time, and of course the national anthem was there. What was the feeling of representing India and giving it back to the country?
Okay, I have to tell you a very interesting thing in this. It was the summer of 2008.
2008.
And my 11th was over. I was lying home like an idle child waiting for the 12th to start. And there was this thing, the Olympic Games 2008 on television. And I saw Abhinav Bindra win that gold medal. And see, when I saw Abhinav go to the podium, it was like seeing a movie, the best movie of my life, the best scene I've ever seen. And the national flag started to rise and the national anthem was playing. The value of that national anthem, understanding that this is India's first individual Olympic gold medal.
Absolutely.
and it is done by an individual in my event, in shooting, and the thing I'm just entering, the world I'm just entering, that changed me. I was standing, I was alone in the house, I stood off my bed, I was standing there when he was standing, I listened to the national anthem, I was crying throughout it. And that experience has always stayed with me. I understood the value of that national anthem, what Abhinav did that day, for crores of people like me. It was much more than what he did for himself. And that is something which has really inspired me. That's something which happen, just go inside, deep inside you. And just because you asked me this question, I can come out with it. That is one of the very, very major things. That national anthem that day was very important for me. Normally you hear the national anthem and it means that it is your national anthem. Absolutely. But that day it meant something very different.
Absolutely. Another point is that जब हम shooting की बात करते हैं, right? And it is a very skilled event, right? And how did this series is all about passion, right? It's finding your love for what you do. And एक sportsman के career में, whether it be any sport, right? There is a limited number of years that you can represent your country. So, when I see it as a sport, right? तो आपको पता है कि आपने 10 साल या 15 साल खेलना है. तो what is the drive? Of course, it goes without saying the passion and the love for the sport. But what kept you going? I want to understand that, the larger aspect of it.
See, there are two things in this. One, again, the luck factor, that in shooting, the time horizon is a longer one compared to many other more physical sports. So that is very good. The other thing also in shooting is, it also gives you some free time in life to ponder around and do things. And I was very interested in many things which shooting allowed me to do. It's like, it bought me a freedom and bought me a position in the society in which I can go and do things. It began with working with different NGOs. I was teaching in Delhi in 2009, 10.
And this you are all doing with shooting.
With shooting.
You shooting and the social aspect is already
and
there.
They're working, helping each other. So it's like, if I do something, if I spend 1 month in Madhya Pradesh working with a tribal community and I come back to shooting, I feel empowered for the next 6 months. I want to win a medal and have more value inside me to go and do something. Or maybe I win this competition, maybe I become this, then I can have a larger impact through what I'm thinking, what emotions I'm feeling while working for the people. So the social aspect and shooting are both energizing each other. And also
this is amazing.
And that's how I sustained it. So it has to be a sustainable thing. So if I'm just shooting, it's an unforgiving sport and it's a flying target. You can miss the flying target. You spend years into this game and you go to this competition and that target can be missed. But still the rationale why I want to do this has to be bigger than that flying target.
Absolutely.
It has to be something which grounds into the reality that, okay, doesn't matter, I have to still break the next target and next target in the next competition, and not this chance, next chance I'll make it. And I needed another thing, and what I always wanted was something to do with people, something to do with sustainability of life, of communities. And you see around India, you can find inequality, poverty, underprivileged people across the place. I thought this is the area I want to connect with, and shooting is giving me the opportunity. It's allowing me to be free.
So that is how you. So I think you, आपने 2 साल की भी break ली थी, right? You went to University of Oxford, Somerville College, and that is how you did that master's course there, or.
So it is also connected to this.
Tell us about that course, which you did.
So
very interesting.
The MSc in Oxford was mostly about research on India and India's development, India's developmental issues, studying different academic disciplines and connecting them, studying from anthropology to human development to political economy, and connecting them why development happened, why it doesn't happen. And my dissertation was on sustainable development in Punjab. And
sustainable development in Punjab.
In Punjab, understanding the issues with it, economic, social issues with it, the concerns of the environment, how policy making takes care of that or not. So that is also part of that similar journey, which started with working for NGOs, social movements, and then it went to Oxford. And I hope that after in the coming time with my shooting, I can build it into something even more concrete. I can build it into research, policy research work, something which has long-time sustainable impact on how research is done or policy is made concerning empowering people and sustainable development.
So when we talk about passion and the love, so wo kya hai? What is that? When we talk about the passion, do you want to see? So what I understand is that through your sport, you want to create a sustainable impact and do this. So what is the out of the two, which is the passion? क्या passion है? क्या चीज आपको लगती है ज़्यादा
So
बढ़िया?
the passion, as I told you, that seeing that emotion which Abhinav brought in me, to be able to have transformed that emotion into many more people. So that is the passion. And if not only with that symbolism, or only apart from that, only that symbolism, what happened that day, also going actually doing also the work in transforming people, connecting with people, or doing things, and that is going to, as I told you, is going to concretize in the coming future. And I'm already working on things what I want to do to make it. As you with work, you actually find the journey. It's not only with the ideas you find it. Many times through processes you find.
Right.
And and as these two things have been connected in my life, I know it's not a very common thing. You can't have a so what
do you call this? Social entrepreneurship, social activism? What is this? The social aspect of it, which you're linking with the shooting itself.
So shooting or any sport has its own social existence,
right.
And which is what I was talking about, the freedom part, because it gives you a social existence. And now what you use that for is totally on the onus of on the athlete.
Wow.
And for me, I always knew the areas I wanted to touch. And like I told you, I'm very passionate about sustainability, because I realized that on a finite planet, there can't be infinite growth. If the resources are finite, if the environment is finite, we can't have the all solution to every problem can't be increasing GDP and increasing consumption. It has to look into different methods of the economy, and the economy still has to grow. And like we were just discussing, I was going through this beautiful phase in which I was trying to understand that aspects like caring of a nurse, or education, or craftsman of a musician, or a sportsman are valuable social things which can't be measured with just with productivity. You really enjoy when you see a very amazing musician playing. You can't say it has to bring in these many albums in a year.
मेरे दिमाग में पता क्या चल रहा है, जितने हमारे viewers हैं ना इस time पे, so with the shooting angle to it, right? It is so amazing that what you're doing on the social aspect, your thoughts on sustainability. जितने लोग सोच रहे होंगे यार अभी हमको shooting के बारे में सब पता लगा, and there is a person who loves shooting as a sport and then wants to create a sustainable impact for the future generations. It's so amazing, yaar. It's so amazing. Smit, going forward, right? What is your message to all the younger generations coming in, right? India is going through a very exciting phase in its journey, right? In its history also. What's the message to maybe a person who wants to become a shooter, or person who wants to create an impact, work on the social enterprises? So what's the message to the younger generation and the overall aspect to it?
See, both these things. First, about whatever we want to do, we need to have a heart for it. I could have tried to become a footballer, but if I didn't have a heart in it, I would never work hard. So it's very connected. Your passion is directly related to how much hard work you will put, how much brain you will put into it, how much imagination you will bring to the work over the years.
Absolutely.
And so one, you have to find something you are very passionate about. If you're not able to find that one thing, you have to find multiple small things which you're passionate about.
Wow.
Well, there are very lucky few people who say this is my life's goal and I'm going to die after this. But you can find smaller goals which you're passionate about and try to achieve them. India is a developing economy with issues everywhere. That is an opportunity, and also that is a crisis, because we are limited in our resources, we are limited in our scope, also we are limited in our personal resources and time.
Sure.
To go and solve them. So you have to find what you're passionate about, and you have to bring new imagination, new thinking to solve them.
Amazing.
Like your business, I was very interested when I hear from you that it is a problem solving idea. The business model has to solve a problem, which is very fascinating for me. That is how any business has to think.
Right. So with any role models that you have, anyone that you look up to and you think यार भाई ऐसा फोड़ना कुछ करना है, कुछ anything?
Well, there are many people I look up to in different fields, and every person have their geniuses and their limitations. So I try to imbibe many good qualities from many people I find, but I don't have one single person who I want to be like. And also I realize that every person is so different that we have to find our own space, we have to find our own thing. If we try to become an image of someone, we might not succeed at it, or might not achieve our full potential.
Wow.
Because our potential might be completely different from that person. And so image of anyone, even the best role model, but trying to become his image or her image is not the ideal way, I think. Learning the best things from them, also learning from their mistakes.
Absolutely. Smith, it's been a pleasure. I've known you, right, and we've had a lot of interactions about contributing towards the country, and I think what you've done, what you represented, given back to the country, is just amazing. I just want to thank you for your contribution to the country and representing our country at such a big level. The entire country's best wishes are with you for the Olympic Games, which is coming in Japan in 2020. I'm sure that that you're going to be there, and looking forward, and I'm very sure that going to make the country proud in the years to come. Thank you so much for doing
Thank you
this.
so much,
Thanks
Simar.
a lot.
Very kind words. Thank you.
Bye bye.